Hey, all you genius astronauts. We're back aboard the International Imagination Station. Wow, I'm so excited. This is our fifth episode teaming up with NASA's Artemis mission to the moon and beyond. 5 episodes. Now, if you've missed any of the previous 4 episodes, be sure to go to my YouTube channel. They're really fun, they're very inspiring. You can draw some really cool Artemis structures, okay? Now, today, we have a turbo talented artist, we have a fascinating NASA engineer, and we're going to draw the xEMU. I got to be careful. xEMU. Well, basically, it's the moon spacesuit. It's so awesome. We're going to love drawing with that. So let's take a look at today's NASA video for inspiration. Roll video.
Moonwalkers, working at 1/6 Earth's gravity, will need spacesuits that let them use their hands and feet, walking to destinations and bending and reaching as they explore. For this new type of work, NASA has been testing prototype Planetary suits, culminating in a new suit design, the xEMU.
The xEMU is Exploration Extravehicular Activity Mobility Unit. So it's an exploration spacesuit. So it's a spacesuit that you're going to use as we move forward on Gateway missions and on the lunar missions with Artemis. And then we're using all that to test the suits you would want to use to go to Mars in. So eventually you're going to have to be very independent and very confident in your hardware when you go and do a mission that far away from Earth. The new suits, the planetary walking suits we're working on now, we really hope to provide improved mobility and comfort along with reduced injury potential. And really, like I said, provide the best tool to the crew member that we can provide. Then we want to be able to provide them the ability to kneel down and pick up a rock, like they're going to want to do in their geology science that they're working on. We want this to be a very reliable and durable suit so they can use it day after day in a dusty environment and not have to do a lot of maintenance with it while they're needing to do their mission. So there's a lot of those kinds of aspects that go into improving the suit that we're going to provide for the lunar missions.
Hey, we're back. Wasn't that a great, inspiring video? We're going to draw that xEMU moon suit today. But first, I'm going to do a little warm up. Go ahead and switch to my hand cam. Awesome NASA educator Patricia Moore. That's quite a title. Look at all these episodes we've done. Did you guys draw this with me? Did you draw the SLS? And did you draw the Orion crew survival or the launch system or the Orion? Oh, we had so much fun. I hope we can do many more of these. But today we're going to draw this guy right here. And to help us, we're going to use principles I teach in my book. Here, there's my subtle little plug there from my cool book. Thanks, Jack. Now, we're going to warm up with basically the shapes that I see in this one right here. And the artist who created the Draw Artemis program, remember hashtag Draw Artemis if you want to get this printed up. I print these up every time, these wonderful cards, and we're going to go through it. But the shapes that I see are the circles and the cylinders for the legs. Those are the big important shapes. So let's warm this up. Let's draw. I'm going to just do a warm up. These are just quick sketches, and I'll be talking about this a lot. For all of you parents out there, I want you to try drawing with us today. And once again, Jack and Patricia, I have no idea why I scream because I'm so used to teaching drawing in a huge auditorium with kids in theaters and my mic is 3 inches from my face, so I don't need to shout.
It's all good. We can hear you just fine.
Yeah. I want you parents, it's so funny that I get so excited drawing, I start screaming. I'm alone with my cats in my studio. But I want you parents to know you have a license to flop, and we'll be talking about this later on today. Take that creative risk, okay? Take the creative risk to draw with us. And this is a good one to start. Anybody can draw the circle. Basically, if you can write your name, you can learn to draw in 3D, all right? If you can write your name, you can draw in 3D. So just draw a circle. Anybody can do that. And then what we're going to do is we'll identify, and same when I start doing the main drawing of the xEMU suit, I'm going to have my light in the top right. That's usually where I put it, right up there. And then I'm going to put a shadow right away for the sphere. It's just a great shape. And we're going to build the body of the suit and the helmet of the xEMU on there. See, draw that. See the sun, the light, and the shadow. Now I'm going to do one of the legs here. Watch this. Put 2 dots and draw a foreshortened circle. These are basic fundamental shapes of drawing. Now, these aren't elements of drawing. These are molecules of drawing built up of smaller elements. For instance, I'm using shading. Look at shade the side here and shadow to build that. See, I'm using shading. I'm going to give you a little symbol for shading. I'm using shading and I'm using shadow. Look at this to build a sphere. Now, I like to teach my students. This is very similar to like a water molecule, right? It's built up of smaller atoms, 2 hydrogen atoms and an oxygen atom, right? You know, you have two, they're dancing. You have 2 hydrogens dancing with an oxygen for water. Well, the same what I'm doing here is I'm putting together these molecules, these elements, these atoms of drawing, like shading. Here's foreshortening. Look at that squished. My symbol for squishing is foreshorten circle. Squish and distort. We'll be doing that today. Write that down. Squish, if you can squish, if you can distort, you can make your drawing look 3D. What 3D is, it's basically developing the confidence, that's a good word, the confidence to squish and distort to create the illusion. So it equals the illusion. That's what we're going to do on our xEMU suit today. Did I say it right, Patricia? xEMU?
You said it.
The 3D is the illusion of near and far. Okay, so if you can create this illusion, and remember, the most important thing I'm going to teach you today, you parents and you grandparents and you aunts and uncles, is if you can write your name, you can draw in 3D. Look, you can draw a sphere, you can draw the cylinder, and if you can do these 2 things, you can draw this. I guarantee you. You can draw the xEMU. It's going to be so cool. Now, I want to introduce a very, very dear friend of mine, the next commander of our art TV show that we're developing. I know a lot of you might remember me from as Commander Mark on the Secret City from 1985. I have this. You saw it on the intro. Some of you might remember that from. Oh my goodness, that was 35 years ago. Was I ever that young? But I've been looking for my whole career, who am I going to pass the baton to? And this is the man that I'm going to pass it to. After 35 years, I found him, and we've been friends for a couple years. He's an amazing artist, a professor of art, his own art school, the Clinton Millsap School of Art. Clinton Millsap, say hi to everybody.
Hello.
I'm just so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to get more into introducing you later. I just want to thank you for coming. He's been battling with COVID. He had COVID for the last 6 weeks, and he's almost in full recovery now. I'm so glad you recovered. We love you, and we're glad. We actually postponed this, waiting for you, because it's so important that you draw the xEMU suit. So thank you, audience, for waiting and being patient with us these weeks while we waited for Clinton to recover. Look at him, handsome. Now do one more shot, mister. There he is, the commander. Give him a hand. Now, Patricia, I'm going to let you introduce our amazing NASA engineer, Katrina, and her kids.
Sure, awesome. Well, thanks for everybody joining us again today, and we're super excited to have a spacesuit engineer. Her name is Katrina Journet, and she's with her son Robert. So, Katrina and Robert, why don't you say hello?
Hey, Robert. Hi. This is what we saw of Robert during the rehearsal. We saw Robert's ear. Hi, Robert. We love you, and we love your ear. Hi, Katrina. It is so great, and we have your daughter here too, right?
Yeah, Lana is around floating.
Oh, there, Robert! I get to see Robert. Hey. All right,
Yeah.
well, welcome. We're going to have so much fun with you. Thank you for joining us today. And Jack and Patricia, I want to make sure I introduce you guys, our co-host, our co-creators. Patricia's our NASA educator. She's taught people all over the world about the important, just the importance of exploring our imaginations and using our imaginations to launch into space. And Jack Moore, our NASA artist and our director of this whole endeavor. Hey guys. All right, so take it away, and I'm going to start drawing my lesson, Patricia.
All right, well, we're going to go back to your draw cam and get started. And Katrina, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you work with the spacesuits, and then from there, just tell us a little about the xEMU in general, and you can kind of talk about the different pieces as Mark's drawing, and he might point something out and ask some questions as we go along. So take it away.
Okay, great. So good morning or good afternoon to everyone. So I have worked at NASA for several years. I've worked in everything from shuttle to space station, and now for the first time, really enjoying working for xEMU, which is our next generation of spacesuits. And the fabulous thing about the spacesuit is that it all starts with a vision, and it starts with a design. It starts with a great concept of what can we do better to move to the next phase in our space history. And you guys remember in the videos, we start off with looking at Apollo, we look at Gemini. So what's different between the suits? And that what I look at every day is what does it take to take it to the next level? We see the astronauts fall a lot. They needed to have more movement. They were very constricted. And then the suits are really heavy. So now the thing is to get the mass down. We want the suit to be more streamlined. We want it to be custom fit. We want it to have more dexterity and movement, so that the astronauts can shift themselves about a little bit more and do more interesting missions. As we go back to the moon, we're thinking about the lunar surface, so we're even looking at the boots. The boots are getting a remake. And then when we're thinking about exploration and going further out to Mars and beyond, and maybe even setting up lunar bases or new space stations, now we're thinking about even different types of suit. Does the helmet change? Do we have different things in our joints? Are the arms different? Are the legs more tapered? The suit is a really exciting thing because there is no space station, there are no launches, and there are no missions without the astronaut being able to safely get to the destination and make all of the right moves. So it all starts with your vision, like what you see on the picture as you draw the space suit. This is what we do. We draw the concept, our engineers look at it, and then we start to make it a reality. We start to look at the soft goods, which are the materials. You look at the display panel, which tell the astronaut a lot of information about the astronaut. Are they healthy? Are they well? Do they need assistance? There are communications within the helmet so that they can talk. There are emergency provisions. There are life supports on the back. You have the big backpack so that they can breathe. And of course, you have to think about bending the knees, moving the arms, maybe even getting back to the space station from the extravehicular activity. So this spacesuit is really special. And we have spacesuit designer Amy Ross, who is helming this for the suit itself, which is pressurized.
It's like a spaceship, basically.
It is. It's a mini spaceship for the person. So you have to really think about them and what do they need. And that's what I do every day. I look at what does it take to make that vision on paper come
How
to
long
reality.
can this? I'm so excited. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but how long can they stay out with the suit?
On average, for going on the space station, it's about 6.5 hours that they're out there for a mission. Anything longer than that would be exceeding the requirements for the life support. Going further, lunar missions, they might stay out there as long as 8 hours per mission.
Wow. And so I have a few pictures of our history of spacesuits. So I'm going to throw that up really quick. And we can kind of see the evolution of spacesuits. And these are all of our EVA suits, our extravehicular activity suits from our Mercury days, which was more like in flight, the spacecraft. And then we have Gemini, which was the first time we did a spacewalk. And then we have our Apollo suits. That we used on the moon, and then our space station EVA suits or extravehicular activity suits, and then now we have the xEMU. So, Katrina, what are some of the major differences of perhaps the Apollo spacesuit that we used to go to the moon and the spacesuits that we're using right now?
So if we look at Apollo's suit, it really wasn't made to have much mobility. So you'll notice that it's a little bit leaner, but it doesn't have the ability to allow the astronaut to move as freely. They're pretty restricted. What you have now in the xEMU will give them way more mobility. They can do more interesting missions on the terrain. So that's really the big difference. They need to be able to move more freely. They need to be able to have more of a range of motion. And of course, everybody remembers the falling and on the moon and such. We want to have better balance.
Yeah, I actually have a quick little video, if you don't mind, Mark, taking we're going to go to this video and show all of the astronauts kind of falling around and how difficult it was to go on the moon. So we'll cut to that and then we'll come back to the drawing.
The more videos, the better. I love seeing all this NASA footage.
All right, so we're going to take a quick trip to the Apollo era when the astronauts were walking and falling on the moon, and then we'll come back. We'll come back and talk about all the improvement that we've made.
and we haven't seen to the bottom. I think we'll get a chance to look further down. Dave! I told him you were. Up! Okay. We see that one went all the way in. Not quite.
Flight, Tony.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bob, I tell you, this central station's a bear. Bear to get level. Well, I just got dust on it now.
Okay, we copy that, Tom.
Yeah, sure not. I mean, the material is not white. It's just the same as it, rat. How'd you like that?
Ah, beautiful maneuver there, Charlie.
Okay. Yep. Remind me to dust my camera too, will you? Don't forget to dust your camera. We'll keep it.
Skip. Right, they say give it a slight rotation clockwise as you're lifting out.
Okay. Stay there.
Flight.
Stay there.
Go flight. Did you copy
Okay,
what
back.
else I'm saying here? Yes, I did.
I gotta admit, that looks like fun.
It does look like a lot of fun. I mean, but I'm sure it was pretty frustrating for the astronauts as they're trying to do work that they kept falling over. So I imagine that part of that problem may have been the backpack. The life support system backpack looks really heavy, Katrina. Is it going to be lighter this time around?
It will be lighter this time around. They're going to really minimize the weight. Weight is a big factor whenever we're in space. So whether you're on the vehicle itself or you're looking at the suit, we're always looking at mass reductions. So the suit you see is really heavy, but also
Well,
really rigid.
How heavy is it when they're on Earth with gravity?
I'm not allowed to give you exact weights, but it's relatively heavy. But remember that you saw that their arms were really rigid. He had a lot of difficulty getting up off the ground. There's not a lot of mobility. This new suit is going to correct those issues.
It looked like they were using their momentum a lot. Like they would jump up, and in order to let the force of them going down bend the knee so they could grab things off the ground. I mean, it looked like it was like a balloon shaped like a human being.
Absolutely. It was very difficult for them to get up, and you could see that he could barely bend his arms. He was very rigid in the way his arms were, his legs. So that's what we want to correct in this one. This suit is going to have way more mobility and allow the astronauts not to have that kind of problem this time around.
So there are different size astronauts, right? We have some astronauts that are shorter and some that are taller. So how do you accommodate those size differences?
Ooh, now the beauty of this time around, we're customizing the suits, so they will be a custom fit to the astronaut.
Each
So that's
astronaut has
also
their
gonna be
very own
nice.
custom designed spaceship. That's incredible. Each artist, they all have their own spaceship. Now, and then yesterday when we were talking, Katrina, how there was just there's hundreds of people designing these different suits, and they're assigned to different, like one for the gloves and one for the helmet and one for different aspects of it. Can you talk a little bit more about the team effort that's involved in developing just one suit for one astronaut, our astronaut?
So absolutely. The suit itself is comprised of many things. You're looking at soft goods. When we talk about soft goods, we're talking about the boots, we're talking about the garment itself, the suit itself, we're talking about gloves, and then also the helmet comes along the realm of in the soft goods because it's part of the actual suit. But the backpack, the life support system, is its own individual system, and it has another set of designers. And then we have the communications panel. That's done by the informatics group. So all of the things that you think about, displays and controls, all of those things are done by different sets of people. And it can trickle out to over 400 or more individual people really contributing to the design and the success of the suit for the astronaut. It put in a tremendous amount of work and dedication to come up with the concept and then to bring it to life. And then we continuously test it. You look at the material and you think, oh, I'm just stitching together a suit. But no, we have to actually test that material to make sure it can handle the environment, it can handle the heat or vibrations. We want to avoid rips and tears. So they do a lot of non-destructive testing also to make sure that the suit is robust.
So what types of materials do you use?
It varies. It really does vary. What they're using now, new materials that they're in development with. Things that are a little bit close to what you see in xEMU or different from what we have currently on the space station.
Okay, so I know that Kevlar is one of those materials, at least for the ones on the space station, because you want to protect from micrometeorites. Do we use similar types of material for this spacesuit?
Currently, we're investigating new materials, so it may not be the same material this time around.
Okay.
We're still looking at different options.
Very interesting.
So definitely looking at MOD hits would be a big thing. We want to avoid rips and tears in the suit, because that could lead to loss of life.
So, so tell me a little bit about what it's like for the astronaut inside of the spacesuit. How do we keep them cool? How do they keep from getting hot? How do we keep them comfortable?
So the astronaut actually has a lot going on. So the portable life support pack on the astronaut's back, and this wonderful picture is awesome. In there is a cooling system, and we have a primary system, and we certainly have a backup system. In the event that something goes out, we want to make sure that the astronaut has a backup so that they can make moves to get back into the space station and aboard the EVA. So you have multiple things going on to help them. In the helmet, you think about when you're outside and it's so hot and you're sweating, think about condensation and water in the helmet. Think about maybe fogging up the helmet. We eliminate all of those issues by looking at different technologies so the astronaut is really comfortable. Even thinking about the astronaut's hair. You can't have hair in the face. We pull the hair back with the hair ties. So the astronaut has a lot of things going in there. They're going to be in that suit for a very long time. They need to be comfortable.
So how do you...
Even their hair and their eyebrows and just every detail, you have to take that in consideration. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
Hey,
our astronauts are amazing. Yeah.
I forgot to introduce, we have Diane Kelly. Hi, Diane. I just wanted to let everybody know they can ask questions directly to our NASA engineer guest, Katrina. They can text on YouTube and they can text on Facebook. And Diane's right there. Wave, Diane. Hi, Diane. You're so cool. Thank you for your help with today. So be sure to text your questions, and we just love hearing from you guys.
So I have a quick question. You know, we love our acronyms. You know, Tricia, I know you mentioned extravehicular mobility unit earlier. Yeah. So that means spacewalk, right? It's a fancy way of saying spacewalk. What does the X stand for? xEMU. Sounds so cool.
It's exploration. That's all it is.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
We love our acronyms at NASA, so the X is really exploration.
Yeah, it's super exciting. So for those of you who haven't joined us before, NASA's Artemis program is our new human exploration of the moon program. So we had Apollo during the 60s and 70s, and Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo. So it's the perfect name for our moon missions that will send the first woman and the next man to the surface of the moon. And our goal for NASA is to do that by 2024. So, so we're really excited, and this spacesuit is super important because we want to be able to be on the surface of the moon for that first mission for a few hours, and then from there we want to our next mission stay for days and eventually get to the point where we can stay for weeks on the surface of the moon. And so so Katrina, have you and your team talked about how many spacesuits we're going to need for this? I know we'll only need maybe 2 or 3 for that first mission, but what about for later missions?
So now that's an interesting part of the design as well. We do think about spares. So, you know, for the kids at home, you think about when your light bulb goes out at home, mom goes into the cabinet or whatever, and she puts in a new light bulb, or dad goes in and he puts in a new light bulb. So that's a spare. We do the same thing for the spacesuits. We have to think about sparing. But remember, the space that you have on the vehicle that launches and takes you to the space station has a limited amount of space, and weight is a consideration. When we get to the space station, we're thinking again, once again, about space and a limitation on how much room we have to do. And all of these things have to be packed. So we would not launch this all in one big suit in a huge box, way too much space. We have to think about how we are going to package it, send it, what's reusable, what gets sent back, and then what will become ultimately some sort of waste. All of that is part of the planning for the spacesuit.
Wow.
And we can't have too many because, once again, it's a mass reduction.
Yeah. So Diane just texted me and she says she's got her first question. So for our audience, so Diane, do you want to unmute and ask the question?
Awesome.
Sure. We have a question from Facebook, and it is, how long does it take to get from from design to implementation for the spacesuit?
Oh, that is a great question. So once again, it starts with that drawing, just like what we're doing right now today. We draw the spacesuit, we come up with a vision of everything that we think we could possibly want, and then we start to think about what does it take to bring it to life. That is in your preliminary design phase. And the preliminary design phase can take anywhere from 6 months to a year. Because remember, we want to get it really right, and we have a lot of testing to do. And then we have secondary reviews, we have primary reviews, a lot of testing along the way. So if we're looking at 2024, I would hope that we are out of our preliminary design review by, say, beginning of 2021.
Interesting. So how do you select astronauts? I know people ask a lot of that question, like how do they select astronauts? How do you get to become an astronaut? How do you get to become an engineer at NASA? So maybe you can talk a little bit about the backgrounds that are needed to come and work at NASA on the STEM side.
I think the most important part of that question is, how does your favorite cartoonist become the first cartoonist on the moon?
That sounds like a self-serving question, Mark.
Well, I think we take that great picture that you're doing right now and we put it on the next shuttle and launch it.
Yeah, I had to get that in before. I know Commander Clinton. He's thinking the same thing. It's going to be between the two of us. Arm wrestle.
So I guess your question is really two parts. What does it take to become an astronaut? And then what does it take to become someone who is a scientist or an engineer or a mathematician at NASA? So I'll take it in two parts. For my background, I went to school in physics. I went to school at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's where I'm from. And then I studied biophysics in Ithaca, New York at Cornell University. And then I transitioned all of those skills into working for Johnson Space Center. I started in reliability engineering. So it takes the physics, science, math. Those are the things that I studied. You can go to school in anything and work for NASA. If you go in biology, you can work with the astronauts. You can think about what does it take for their health and wellness. If you go in math and science, you can work on the design of the suit, the hardware, the missions that we're looking at, the space station. There's room for every part of the science and math realm. And then we also have the arts. Don't push that to the side. If you're an artist, this matters. We need concept in order to create those wonderful visions that get us to the next level in the space race.
Oh,
So,
Katrina, you're singing to my heart. I remember.
so that's really part of it.
I was at a conference one time and I had we were displaying a bunch of really cool NASA art, and somebody came up to me and they were like, "Oh, it's been my dream to work for NASA, but I have a degree in art." And I was like, "So do I! I have 2 degrees in art." So we need all types, and it's such an important job for the artist to help take these very technical concepts and relate them to the public in a way that's very easy to understand. So thank you for saying that. I love you. I love you for saying that.
Absolutely, it's really important. And for our astronauts, so astronauts have a height and weight requirement. They also have academic requirements. A lot of our astronauts have military experience, but you don't necessarily have to have military experience. You can go on NASA website right now to all of our young artists and drawers or our college students and immediately go out there and look at the requirements for the astronaut. You say, I want it, I want you to go get it. Meet the requirements, go to school, get the information, sign up for the program, and dream big. In art, we dream big and we turn it into reality. At NASA, we take all of that and we transition. So if you want it, I want you to go get it. Get the education.
Katrina, oh my gosh, I love you for saying that. Dream big, dreams do come true. The entire NASA space program is built on dreams being realized. People imagining, teaming together, pulling together their talents and their resources. And here we are, we're going to be going to the moon in 2024. Dream big and dreams happen. I love you, Katrina. That's beautiful.
So, Robert, do you want to share your drawing, or you feel comfortable doing that?
I can't even start.
Not yet?
Robert is still working on his concept right now.
Okay, all
One
right.
of the
Well,
things
maybe.
I really would love is for our resident artist expert is to tell the children about what does it take to be an artist. When you have that vision,
Hey, Clinton.
how do you know
Great
that
Hey,
it's so
Clinton, this is
perfect?
yours. I'll let you take
Okay.
over.
How do you know when you want to share it with the world?
You have
All right.
Lana. Clinton, I'm sorry. You go ahead. I just want to say hi to Lana. We have Robert and Lana. We have Katrina's kids on. And does Lana want to wave to us real quick before Clinton talks?
She might come in later.
Oh, she might come in. Okay.
As the
All right,
auditions.
Clinton. Oh, there is. Hey, Robert. How you doing, bud? This is during our rehearsal. I only saw his ear the whole time, so it's great to see your face, Robert. All right, Clinton. Now we want to hear all about you, what it takes to be an artist, and you actually teach. You have online classes that you teach amazing photorealism drawings and art multimedia. So take it away.
I think the main thing that everyone needs to know about being an artist is that you have to recover from mistakes. You always have to find a way around a mistake, or you have to solve a problem. So concept, idea, why am I drawing what I'm drawing? What am I drawing for? Who needs it? What's it going to be used for? All these things matter when you're making art. So when I talk about recovery, just now while I was sitting here, one of my pens exploded.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
It's all over my hands, and I had to grab a towel off camera and go through it. But that is the reality of being an artist, is that sometimes your stuff doesn't cooperate with you. Sometimes your idea doesn't cooperate with you. And then you've got to find a way to make it work or recover the work. I'm so always harping on the word recovery, because you have to recover your idea and your concept. So today I was coming on and I knew that I was going to draw, and I knew that I was going to draw the spacesuit. So part of my homework for drawing today was to do my homework on what I was drawing. So the first thing I did was look through all the available information about the xEMU. So what did I need to know? What did I need to find out to draw successfully today? Well, one of the main things I needed to find out was, how does this suit work and why? So part of being a successful artist is understanding what you're making and why you're making and who you're making it for, right? And you go from these little bitty thumbnails, which are just little bitty scribbly ideas, and you just kind of scribble little wireframe things or little stick figures. And then you have to make a concept. Okay, well, I like this little spacesuit, but what's the spacesuit guy doing, right? Why does he have the spacesuit? What does he need the spacesuit for? So all these things become these level of importance in putting together a story, which is in your drawing. So whether you're making a drawing for the engineers at NASA, for the scientists, for the mathematicians, you're doing a drawing that says, hey, I have a human body, and if I were up on the moon or on Mars, I might want to turn like this and see what's behind me. I might want to try to find a Martian, or find my friend, or find the vehicle, or find a rock. So I need to move, right? And then I might want to wave and turn my wrist. And so these things become a reality as a concept artist, because you have to put yourself in the client's shoes. And in this case, the client would be the astronaut and all the engineers, right? And exactly what Katrina was talking about is, so we have to pack all this stuff and then fly it to the moon, right? Well, who do you think's going to figure out how to pack all that stuff? It's not going to be the mathematician. They're just going to tell you how much it needs to weigh and where it needs to go. They're going to say, it goes on this part of the ship right here. And then the artist is going to go, well, I think I can make that fit if it goes in the shape of a noodle, and then that goes around the water evaporation tank, right? And so then these guys, now these gals, they all work together. They say, I need this, and the artist says, I can make this. And then they have to work together, right? And that's what a concept artist does. It takes a concept and then helps it become reality.
That's really cool. And so, Katrina, do you have, what kinds of engineers and artists do you work with that do that sort of work?
So you have the spacesuit designer. In this case, Amy Ross is doing the pressurized garment system, and she is huge in thinking about what the astronaut needs, the material, She has a team that works behind her that looks at every aspect of that pressurized garment. Then we go to other areas like informatics. It's another team of people looking at communication, displays and controls, the lighting. All of those things are in place. The portable life support system, the thing that keeps the astronaut cool, alive, and helps them to breathe. It's another big thing that a lot of people are working on. And we take it in piece parts, because you can think about it. It's like asking your child to go clean their room. You say, clean the room. Where do I start? When I say I have my portable life support system, each team has a segment of that system. So we work it in a system like that. Start at one area at a time. Each person has a section. And then before you know it, you have an entire system built. That's the best way to start it.
That's amazing. Yeah. So I want to give my girls a chance. They wanted to show their drawing. So Elizabeth and Evelyn, do you want to come in? Elizabeth,
Yay!
come
We
on.
get to talk to see Elizabeth and Evelyn.
All right, come in and stay between Daddy and I.
Let's see what you got.
All right.
There they
I'm gonna move
are.
it off the
Nice.
camera.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome!
Yeah.
Everybody,
Now, it doesn't look like
everybody-
your astronaut's on the moon. Where's your astronaut?
Love it.
She's on.
Oh, that's
I love
so
the
cool.
color.
Is that
Mark.
little?
Wait, who
Was
is
that little
astronaut?
alien in there?
Yeah.
Was that a
Say
little
that
alien
again?
guy there?
Me.
Hey.
Me.
She can't
Oh,
hear
he's
you.
wearing
Mom.
the
She can't
spacesuit.
hear
Oh,
you.
I can hear her. I can hear her because she can't hear me.
Yeah, she can't
But
hear you.
You know what I like too is that you put all your drawings into one sketchbook, and that's a great example for all you kids watching. Get a book that you can put all of your great space drawings. Have one sketchbook or one notebook just dedicated to space exploration ideas. That's wonderful. Nice job.
All right, now we got
We
Elizabeth.
got round 2 here.
All right.
There, hey! Oh my gosh, you're getting so grown up. Here's Miss College Student.
Oh,
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's all
are
right.
those weather balloons taking you up?
know
into
what?
No,
space?
well, look, they're planet balloons.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I love it.
Love it.
Oh, that gave me an idea. I'm going to put some planets in my drawing. That's awesome.
So
so
Elizabeth
glad
is
it-
working on an acrylic painting, and yesterday she
Whoa.
was showing us, and she wasn't happy about an area it was turning out, and we talked to Grandma, who I think is watching, and she said pretty much what you said, Clint. You have to sort of embrace your mistakes sometimes. Sometimes that's
Yes.
where we make very interesting discoveries, and we're like, okay, yes, I made a mistake, but how can I make that part of the image? And it does add a whole another layer of interest.
That's so cool.
Drip,
Hey, can I show
drip,
my son's
drip.
drawing real quick?
Yeah.
Look at Mario. There's my son Mario. He's FaceTiming into our Zoom feed, into our YouTube feed. Hi, son. There's Mario. He's
Hey,
waving.
Momo.
Oh,
Mario!
you know what? And Mario was asking us, how do they keep the space station and the suits clean? And he's going to loan you his leaf blower and a vacuum. So how
do you think
how do they keep the spacesuits clean? That's a good question, huh, Katrina?
Oh, yes. You think about the person in the suit and he's sweating. Do you really want to wear that suit after? That's like asking somebody to borrow the gym socks. You know, so there's a lot.
Why
to
did you have to
consider.
borrow their gym socks in the first place?
That's the so customized suits and cleaning is really important, and that's part of the design and planning. So the artist is thinking about what does it take to do the maintenance as well, and then you have a maintenance engineer that goes in and says, okay, if
I knew
need
that
these
was a
boosters,
good
we can't
question.
get attached to the leg.
Is Lana, is your daughter ready to show a drawing yet?
Oh no, not
Ah,
yet.
No, never.
Well, that's so
That's
funny.
okay.
That's so cute. Well, can she come
Oh,
on
I
and say
got a
hi?
question.
And does Lana want to say hi? And then Clinton got to say a question.
No, she's
Lana-
too shy right now.
Oh, that's well. You tell her that we said hi. All right, Clinton.
Absolutely.
All right, Jack
Look
had a
at
question.
Mario. Look at Mario's not shy. Here's
No,
Mario. He's
Mario's
right there.
never shy.
So I got
All
a
right.
question, and Mario raises a neat point. So we talk about keeping the inside of the suit clean. What about the outside? I mean, the moon is filthy, right? It has very small, very caustic particulates of dust that it's almost like little tiny shards of glass, right? Do we have to
Yep.
think about that when you're designing the suit and how
Oh,
we clean
most
it?
definitely. Yeah, that goes into the material choices because you think about it. If the suit gets any cut or tear on it, it could mean something catastrophic for the astronaut. So cuts and tears in the suit, we want to make sure we're looking at it. We don't want to lose any pressure in the garment. So that's something to think about as far as the material selection, the maintenance of the suit. How do we deal with it? Is it something that can be stitched or repaired? Is it a total loss? That goes to our maintenance engineer. When we talk about how we're going to store it and get back to it and what cleaning supplies we might need. That goes to our logistics and supportability engineers. There are so many people that make that vision on paper come to life. It's a lot of work, and it's
So it sounds
really
like there's
rewarding to do.
like a whole iteration. You talked a little bit about the design process. You start with kind of the overall concept, and you sort of graduate that. You know, in Clinton, you mentioned that you did a lot of commercial art where you do a similar process, and you provided us some video work that you've done. Do you mind if we show that real quick? Because I think it's really kind of
Absolutely, let's see it.
All right, let's take a look at that.
Sounds great. So those are from my art school. And that's actually one of my drawings that I did. And that's one of my charcoal drawings.
Beautiful.
Oh, so beautiful.
Thank you. That's an acrylic painting. And that's some illustration work. Just going through the sketch all the way through the completion. So there's the line drawing, the tonal value, and then the full color.
Mario has one of those hanging in his room.
And that little guy's name was Thud.
Thud?
that last guy's name was Thud.
You had me fooled. I almost thought those were photographs. How long does it take to get to a image with that level of resolution?
So the charcoal drawing was a total of about 80 hours. And that was the one with the bubbles. And that was at a workshop I did in Germany. And then the acrylic eye was about 40 hours. And that was at another workshop that I was at. And then the eye, the graphite eye, that really took me about 9 hours. But I'm much faster in graphite than I am in any other medium, just because I've been using a pencil since I was little. I didn't always have acrylics, I didn't always have charcoal, but as a little person, I always had a banana yellow pencil or school bus yellow pencil, you know, and if I happened to see the green foil stamp that said 2 HB or HB on it, I was in absolute heaven. Those are my two favorite pencils, and at my School of Art, the Millsap School of Art, we have our own set of T-shirts, and on the back it says #HB for life, because I teach the whole first two realisms with people just using HB pencils, so they can really understand the potential of just one pencil, you know, one tool used really well. So
that's cool. I've been using my 9mm HB mechanical pencil. I love them so much. I buy them by the box. I have
which is why I knew I loved you when your main pencil was an HB.
It's all HB. And Clinton, I think what's super important is that you teach that anyone can learn to draw as a skill. Now, if you have talent, you're going to skyrocket and be able to do amazing photorealism stuff. But you can take anybody.
I have a big argument about talent versus desire. So I know a lot of talented artists that rest on the fact that they have really good hand-to-eye coordination, because that's what art is. So art is your ability to tell your hand what you see. So it's your sight to your brain, and then the relay switch that goes out to your hand. That's what art is. It's understanding how to tell your hand what to do. So it's hand-eye coordination. So athletes practice, 1,000 reps, 1,000 catches, 1,000 tackles, 1,000 jumps. Artists sometimes rest on, oh, well, I sketched for 30 minutes today, I'm done. That's not how it works. You have to draw 2 or 3 hours every day, like an amazing athlete.
Every
like
day,
LeBron James.
every day.
Yeah, LeBron James doesn't wake up and say he's amazing. He wakes up and he works out and he eats right, and then he practices. There's so much involved. There's learning the techniques, learning what things mean, learning about paper, learning about pens, learning about all the tools you can use to make art. So I have had so many artists that knew they were artists in their heart come to school, come to my classes, work hard, and then outshine the person that walked in with natural talent and halfway listened. The ones that paid attention and did the work and practice, about a year later, I'm not saying it happened in a week, but a year later, the transformation is absolutely incredible. And what happens is when you learn art and you learn a process and you practice it, you begin to see. And that's the only way I can say it, is that when you practice and you work at your craft, there becomes a point in whatever it is that you're doing where you can see more clearly, whether or not that is a process or a tool or just understanding and quickly getting through an assessment, right? Assessing a situation and problem solving. And it happens in math, science, physics, art. It is assessment.
I see Katrina like shaking her, nodding her head and saying yes, yes, yes.
She's like,
Absolutely. You've got to practice anything that you do. I mean, all of those equations that you work on constantly. I didn't get it right the first time. Sometimes I cried a little bit. Sometimes I had to start all over. But you just have to keep getting it, and you don't give up. What happens when you feel like as an artist that your work may not be accepted? Like someone may not like your vision. Does that break your heart, or do you say, I still respect my work and I love it and I'm going to keep going with it?
I learned a long time ago from a friend that I just had randomly met, and he said, I'm an artist. And I was like, I'm an artist. And then it was two art nerds going, okay, let's draw together. And they were drawing, and I kept saying, doing this number. I need to show you, right? So I was drawing and he was drawing, and then I was like, this is horrible. And I kept crumpling it up and throwing it away. And I just could not stop doing it. And he looked at me, and he was about 2 years older than me. And he said, hey, finish everything, because something in it is good. And if you don't finish it, you'll never find out the one good thing that you were doing. And it's kind of stuck to me. He was a couple years older than me, and he looked super cool, and I wanted to be cool. So I was like, I gotta be like this cool guy. And then I was sketching these little superheroes, but I didn't like my weapon, or I didn't like my hairstyle, or I didn't like my cool logo that I made. But his was not that great either, but he finished it, and he had like 50 of them. And I looked over at his desk, and I had like 2 good drawings in my sketchbook, and this guy like had 50 okay, all right drawings. So who was a more successful artist? Well, obviously it was the guy with 50 drawings, not the guy with 2. Didn't matter how good these 2 were. So that's when I figured out that I have to spread the word that finish everything you've started, have the willingness to just flop on part of it, and then figure out what you did well in it. Because guess what? It's a sketch. You can always sketch it again and then pick the good stuff that you did out of it. Always. There's always something there you did well. Always. Even if it was the fact that you finished it and that was well, right? There's something that you did well there.
I love the way you brought in the science and the technology into your description, because everything that you're saying and that what you and I teach is that art is a basic fundamental way to communicate, to express your ideas, and to solve problems. And what we're doing in our national and our global school curriculum right here, you see on my camera, on my hand cam, as I was doing it, most of the core goals of our curriculums across the country is science, technology, engineering, and math, which are good and noble and important pursuits. But I propose, along with thousands of other art educators, that you're missing the most important, I'll say it again, the most important part of that curriculum goal is art, is the imagination, is creativity, is learning how to take all those components of science, technology, engineering, and math, put them together and creatively apply them to solve problems that we're trying to resolve, and applications and projects we're trying to do, like go to the moon. It's all about creativity and imagination tied in with science, technology, engineering, and math. So thanks, Clinton, for bringing that up.
No problem.
So
You got it.
So I've been popping around between the different drawings, and Clinton, Jack, and Mark all have kind of a different perspective and a different vision of the suit. So Mark, Clinton, tell us a little bit about yours, and I'll kind of pop around.
Okay, well, mine came together from me looking at the suit specs and the concept work that I was sent. And so I really wanted to just say, how could I show that there was the larger hood view, and that the waist moved, and that the legs moved, and that the hands moved, and I just kind of really wanted to show the articulation. And then I was looking over at some of the concepts, and I'd seen the guy kneeling down, then I'd seen some of the guys working out in space, and so I was like, I thought it'd be cool to just kind of use that round planet shape to kind of make a little silhouette around a guy in a spacesuit actually using the spacesuit and kneeling with a bent elbow, with a bent knee, one knee up, one knee down, and then actually holding a tool. And I thought that really kind of showed what the xEMU can do, which is articulate. And I think that's the most important part about going to the moon this time, is not falling down as much, and being able to turn around, and being able to get down on one knee, and not need the buddy system to get back up, and most importantly, not have the tools float away. And I looked at some of the specs. That's the truth. I looked at some of the specs, and I was really impressed by the new hammer design. It's almost like Thor. It's got the weighted bottom, so it's got this giant weight on the bottom, which I was
Can
like,
you put his drawing up one more time so I can see the hammer? Look at that. And Clinton, by the way, you're a really good artist.
Oh, thanks.
By the way, that's I'm really glad you're teaching people, because that's a really good drawing. Nice, 3D 3-point perspective.
So what I wanted to do, I think when you're doing a daily drawing, like a short 1-hour drawing, I love to do silhouette shapes, and then you need to think about the shape. So if I did a circle, it kind of reminds us of a planet, and it kind of reminds us of space, and then my illustration is about space. So I just took to a thumbnail. So before I do this guy here, I do a pre-sketch, right? And so things that were important to me, which I'll try to zoom in on, I needed to make sure that the tool was important. So I made a note to myself, show the tool, right? And so if the tool is out here all in the void of space, it's very important, right? It really shows up. And then I have a little bit of space to help show the contrast of the suit, and it really will bring attention to the astronaut kneeling. So it seems like a simple design, but it's a design intended to show you what could happen. That's why in the foreground, we have these rocks here at the bottom, showing you what he would be using the hammer to chip away at, right? So all these things are important when putting together a little concept sketch. So the other thing that I had on my notes was I wanted to make sure that I was showing that parts move, and I wanted to make sure that I showed that the knee was down. So, and then I also made myself a note of what part was going to be reflective. So part of doing this silhouette is so I can get a really good contrast to the spacesuit. And so I'm going to put a little bit of color on this hood, because I love that orange reflective color, orange yellow. And so that's really going to pop against all the grays and whites of the suit. So that was kind of my intention of this design and this layout.
Awesome, thank you. All right, I'm gonna go on to you, Jack. You want to, or do you want to follow him or not?
I don't know if I have a choice. Here, yeah.
I want to see Jack's drawing.
I'm happy.
I want to see Jack's drawing. Oh, that's awesome.
So,
Draw Artemis.
I obviously didn't do as much homework as Clinton, so I have. So, be full disclosure, the human form is incredibly intimidating for me to draw. It's one thing that I know I need a lot of practice on. So I wanted to stick to this the guide and just sort of use this as a practice session to sort of help build up my abilities. But one thing I did want to try to capture is that sort of it was what did Gene Cernan say? Magnificent desolation of the moon. You know, this sweeping, lifeless landscape that's just entrenched with history, you know, and that's one of the neat things about the moon is there's so much we can learn from it. You know, we think that it came, that it pulled away from the Earth in the early developmental stages and formed on orbit. So it's almost like a little time capsule for our own home planet to see what it's like when a planet forms in its early stages. And we've learned quite a bit from it. So I wanted to try to capture that. So this, the image that's in the guide, I think is really interesting, and the PDF that you can find in the comments. It just has them standing there. But I think when you first land and you step off the lander, you're probably going to do a lot of that, just sort of taking in how incredible this is, and being a human off Earth, and being the first man, or the first woman and the next man to step foot on the surface. That's one thing I was hoping to try to capture here, just that awe-inspiring moment. So, and then I thought it was kind of fun to play with the Earth in the background to make it look a little bit like the moon, because if you think about it, where the sun's going to hit the Earth and the shadow's going to fall, it'll look a little bit like the moon in our night sky. So there's some interesting ideas to sort of think about as we enter this exciting new era of exploration.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Great story.
I love that. That looks amazing. Most people, you think about the moon being a satellite around the Earth, but you kind of reversed that and you made the Earth become a satellite around the moon. So you really to the next dimension, like this is where we are. I see a lunar base on that moon.
Yeah. That
a little human landing system. Yeah, we're excited because we have a human landing system trainer coming in the next couple of months. So we're thinking about that and very excited about it.
All right, Mark, I'm going to come to you, and we've got about 3 minutes until we're going to wrap up, and so this is a good chance for you to tell us a little bit about your drawing and anything you want to share about STEAM and failure to flop,
Patricia,
all that good
you
stuff.
are such a wonderful co-host. I just have to tell you guys, Jack and Patricia, thank you for making this all possible. I look forward to these Saturday noon specials. These are, Clinton, wasn't this fun?
This is awesome. This is so much fun. This is amazing.
I wish we could do this every Saturday for the whole year, but we'll do it with your schedule, Jack and Patricia. I know how busy you are with NASA, and I love that little video that you poked in there by accident.
That was by accident. Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
Here's my son. He's with us. We love you, Mario. I'd have to tell you, Mario and I had so much fun coming down to NASA, and you and Jack giving us a behind-the-scenes tour. And they gave Mario a special broom that he could sweep mission control with. Remember that, Mario? That was so cool. So I want to just really quick, for those of you who are enjoying drawing with us, I have to let you know I'm so excited. I have my Art Academy, and you'll see it in the text box. It's a whole year of 36 weeks of online drawing every day with me. It's our Art Academy, and I have many different, right now we have 20 different artists, painters, designers, animators, claymation. We have drama, music, and it's going to be on my Art Academy starting August 17th through May. 36 weeks, Monday through Friday, of fine arts education, all Zoom based, at home learning, because so many of us will be at home learning for this year, and I'm going to be there every day with you guys. So check it out, Mark Kistler's Fine Arts Academy. It's on markkistler.com. I also have 2 more weeks left of my Zoom summer art camp. So I hope you, and I hope Jack and I hope Katrina's kids, I hope you guys come and draw with me. I'd love the idea of you guys drawing with me. Thank you to
awesome.
Katrina. What an honor and a privilege it is and Katrina, I'm going to send you a set of these autographed prints of these right here, and I got to put Katrina here. I'm going to put he's going to be saying hi, Katrina. Spell your name. K-A-T, right?
Katrina.
Katrina. Hi, Katrina. He's going to be saying hi, Katrina, and then also up here he's going to be saying Robert. He's going to be saying Robert, and then over here he's going to be saying Lana, even though she's hidden from view. We know she's there in spirit. So I'm going to autograph these, and so every guest artist and every guest engineer is going to get a set of these. I have a surprise for you guys. I'm teaming up with Ed Heck. He's so awesome. We're going to do a neat little packet for you guys. I promise, Jack, it's coming. It's coming. Clinton, thank you for giving your time and to being here post-COVID. First of all, thank you for recovering. We're so glad you're here. And for 6 weeks of that, and giving us hope that knowing that, as long just be safe, social distance, and wear masks, and you guys can, we can all help each other.
Wear a mask and wash your hands.
Say that again.
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
And wear a mask.
Wash your hands. Cover
Mario,
your face.
Mario has a NASA mask that
kind.
Jack sent him. When we wear that, we wear our NASA mask. Thank you, Jack, for those. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Katrina, can I say hi to you one more time on screen? Thank you, Katrina, for your time and your kids. What a pleasure it's been to hear just listening. I hope I didn't interrupt too much. I'm just so excited about talking with you. And then then Diane Kelly, can we get her on the screen? Thank you for all your help. There we go. We have the whole Brady Bunch scene there. It's just so much fun working with all you turbo talented people, and we look forward to our next episode. So if you guys be sure to watch the past episodes on my YouTube channel, right, Mario? Are you still there? Yeah, there he is. Be sure to watch the past 4 episodes on our YouTube channel, and we have many more episodes coming up. Am I missing anything, Patricia? I think I covered. Oh yeah, make sure you put pound art right here. Make sure you put this right here. Draw Artemis. Draw Artemis. Pound draw Artemis so we can share it. And Diane Kelly is going to put my hashtag Mark Kistler. I would like to see him too. So can you guys do that? Would you put hashtag Mark Kistler on it so I can see it, and I'll put it in my social media, e-blast and all that stuff. It's been such an honor.
Mark, I have one more thing I want to ask. I would love to know where I could find more of Clint's work. Clint, do you have an Instagram or anything we can follow?
I didn't hear it.
He wants to know. They want to know where they can find more of me.
Yes, Clinton. I think Diane Kelly put all of your social media links in the text box, and she put your YouTube channel. She put your Clinton School Clinton School of Art, and if you put your graphic up there, let's just cut to his graphic so he can see all of his work. Take a screenshot of that, everybody. I wholeheartedly. He is probably one of the best art illustration teachers on the planet for sure in the United States. Way better than me. It's just a difference. I shouldn't say that. It's just a different
I don't know
style.
about that. Thank you.
I am amazed and always impressed and inspired by your work. So thank you, Clinton, and everybody. And I thank you at home for joining us and spending part of your precious day with us. I hope you look at all the past episodes, and I hope you join us in the future. So thank you for drawing with us. Remember, we're going back to the moon in 2024 with Team Artemis, with the first female and the next man. Off we go. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
guys. 50 years ago, we went to the moon. We called it Apollo.
What many people don't know is that Apollo had a twin.
She was a woman named Artemis, goddess of the moon.
We are returning to the moon
as a new generation of explorers.
This time to stay.
And to prepare to achieve humanity's next giant leap of sending the first human missions to Mars.
We believe our course will redefine what is possible.
That we would discover life-saving,
earth-changing science.
And that the challenges ahead will inspire generations.
This is our manifest.
For all who wondered if we could return.
For all who dreamed of pressing beyond.
This is your calling.
We go for all of America.
We go.
We go as the Artemis generation.
We go.